footprint, and I have Uncle Mike Eghan here. So Uncle Mike, you are back at GBC, your second coming, and within a short time, I'm told that you started rising again within the GBC space, and some people were not happy with that, being given another opportunity to, if you like, upstage certain people.
Well, I don't know whether the description would be upstaging, but I was performing or trying to impart my experience and knowledge that I've gained after 4 years with BBC, and injected new ideas and style of presentation. That of course pleased some people, particularly the radio audience, but inside broadcasting it was not it was displeasing to some people, because I have come to take the shine off their status.
Exactly.
But you can't blame me for trying to
not at all
to inject new ideas into it. Some of the things I did in my early days, my return, was to ride the record. A disc jockey, a jockey rides a horse. A disc jockey should be riding the records. So I injected some ideas into riding the records. I would talk over the introduction of the record and end at a beat that will introduce either the voice or a high-pitched instrument there. I would also tell stories about the artists who are performing the record we are listening to, give the title, and maybe inject a bit of humor into the presentation. And this pleased people and displeased others. But that's life. You can't please everybody. I also had the opportunity to interview a lot of Ghanaians.
Yeah,
that was even before I started the TV programs.
So at this time, what was the political environment like?
Well, I came back when Professor Busia was then the Prime Minister of the country, and I remember a particular incident that he was coming to broadcast, do a live broadcast from broadcast. In those days, facilities were such that you can't transmit straight from State House, from the castle. So he had to come to the studio, like Nkrumah used to come to the studio to record himself. And let me take you back. Don't forget where we are now. Nkrumah was one of the people, very modest person, that I had the good fortune of being in the studio. Whenever he had a broadcast, the security people would come to broadcast now to make sure that it is safe and sound for him. So we knew whenever he's come to do a broadcast. And I was in the studio presenting a half-hour program before his broadcast, 6 o'clock, after 6 o'clock news. And once he's coming, nobody gets in and nobody gets out of the studio. So I was compelled to stay in the studio for him to come. And I remember vividly one day that he came that I was caught in the same situation. He sat down and asked the producer, practice kakre. Who can direct Nkrumah how to present himself? But that's how modest he was and how humble he was. And he would try it and say, that's it. He in smart fancy sort of person. So this was an experience, the closest I got to Nkrumah. That in the studio, I was put in the corner because I couldn't get out, I couldn't get in. And he came and exhibited this modesty.
Yeah, but I mean, you speak with modesty as well, because at the time that you talk about, meeting Kwame Nkrumah was a big experience.
Indeed.
That I'm sure you will share with friends and family, you know.
If we had selfie in those days, I would have taken
you
selfie.
You would take selfie, yes.
So that is the experience I have with Nkrumah. And then we're talking about, Busia was then the Prime Minister of the country. And he was coming to do a broadcast. And we had a meeting to prepare for his broadcast. And I was representing the entertainment department. So I asked the head of programs that day, Mr. Amatefew, Sami Amatefew, I think that was his name. His name was Amatefew. Whether he has seen the script of the Prime Minister. He says no, it's still private and confidential. I said, but how then do you know whether the language he's going to present is good enough for radio or not? So please ask him to give you the script, because you are head of director of sound broadcasting. You should know what he's going to say, and you should be trusted. And that became a big argument. But because he has the seniority allowance, he won the day. But I remember clearly that I had an argument with Mr. Amatifi about that. That one of the things I learned from GBC, that the producer should know the content of what you're going to read, so that he can direct or make suggestions to you and convince you to adapt his suggestions. So that's an experience that I had when I came back from BBC.
So then, Buzia, the political environment itself, your make of it?
It was very murky in that he was proclaiming to be a Democrat, but some of his actions were not democratic, like the sacking of the Apollo people, like the case where he said no court. So I thought he was preaching one sermon and practicing another sermon. But maybe because of my inclination towards Nkrumah, I was equally biased.
Because Nkrumah will go down in history as one of such who changed along the line, of jailing people who disagreed with him. I mean, that's a commentary. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know for a fact.
That's a debate that we can carry on, but I don't think that's the time for it now. I would say that what he did was to prevent disaster.
Of course, preventive detention. So you are detained
and
to prevent disaster.
That was done through parliamentary process.
Well, this is Africa.
But that's more reason why you should hail him as a good person. But even though it is Africa, he tried to do things in the right way. Democratic system was applicable to some of the things he did.
Very important. I mean, you were there, as I said, we were kids. We don't even have any proper encounters to share. But as you say, murky political situation at the time. And so, were you still at GBC by the time Kutua Champon came?
Yes, I was still at GBC.
All right. Now, between this time of Buzia and the 72 when Kutua Champon came, we still have a reference point of a huge a promotional musical tour, an event that happened in Ghana. And by every account and record that we have, you hosted most of the programs, and I'm talking about Soul to Soul. Can you just tell us what Soul to Soul was about? Your own memories.
Soul to Soul was about going back to their roots. The African Americans in America to come back to Africa and experience what Africa really is firsthand. So Mr. Musk, an American producer, he and his son wanted to produce a film on Cheney Achebe's Things Fall Apart in Nigeria. Then when they got to Nigeria, there was a turmoil. The Biafran War was on.
No, Juku and go on.
That's right. So they didn't consider that safe enough, and they wanted to come to Ghana. But just as everything was set for them to come to Ghana, the Biafran War was settled amicably. So they went back to Nigeria because of the theme of the movie itself. But his son had a brainwave of producing or replicating Woodstock in Africa by bringing African Americans to Africa to mix with African musicians and perform a marathon program. So they came to Ghana to survey and do a feasibility. Their first contact was at the Art Center, and they had good support from there. And also Dr. Buzia accented to their coming home to be part of the independence celebration in 1971. So they came to Ghana, and Art Center made the necessary contact. And they asked that they should contact me, who can be a link between their production, the African Americans coming home, and the Ghanaian artists who were good enough to be part of the program. So Mr. Musk's son contacted me, and we had a good understanding of what I can do for the show and what much I will be rewarded for. But for me, the reward was not essential. Was not
as always.
The reward was having the opportunity to be part of a historic event, and they offered me good money for their consultation, and then Good Morning as an MC. And I'm happy to say that I was the sole MC for the marathon session, 6 o'clock in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning. And they were expecting to attract 100,000 people at the Independence Square.
Wow.
And indeed, I think they even succeeded and exceeded.
Exceeded, we're told.
The number of
So
people.
let's go through some of the names of the people who performed, if you remember, the ones that you remember, and how they placed at a global level.
Well, Wilson Pickett was the much known artist in Ghana that came.
Okay.
But there were a lot of other talented and outstanding musicians. Roberta Flack,
yeah. Tina Turner.
And I had an experience with Tina Turner and the husband.
Tell me about that.
Because of the marathon session that we had, I thought that I should go with a selection of clothing that I would change from time to time. So I was given a dressing room, which was adjacent to their dressing room.
Which hotel would this be?
No, this was dressing room at the performing place at the Independence Square.
Okay.
You know the arch there has accommodation
That's
for the banquet and all that. So once I was carrying my things across, they were sitting down. I think they were smoking, and they didn't want.
What were they smoking?
Little mention is better.
Oh man!
And they thought they shouldn't have somebody that they were not familiar with there. So he asked, "Who the hell is that?"
Wow.
And I stopped and answered him that I'm the MC. And then he used the F word that get the out of here. But I ignored his commentary and went to my dressing room. And
and this is Ike Turner.
Yes, Ike Turner.
Well, that's in keeping with his character,
Yeah.
if you like.
His crew kept quiet.
Yeah.
He didn't make any comment about his reaction to my presence there. So the show came on, and Ike and Tina Turner and Carlos Santana, that I, even as a disc jockey, I have not heard much about him. He was the star of the function. Wilson Pickett and him were the main attraction. And there was also the staple singers, a father and three daughters.
Oh, I'll take you there.
I'll take you there.
But that was big.
Yes, Voices of East Harlem, a group of young American.
Voices of East Harlem.
Yeah, Voices of East Harlem.
Yeah.
There was Les McCann, Roberta Flack. I've mentioned, "Killing Me Softly" with this song.
Yeah.
And
how can you sing that?
Stroking me with your finger.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Killing me softly. Do this.
Killing me softly
with this song. Killing me softly. With this song. Killing me softly. With this song.
All young Ghanaians could sing this song.
Yes, but the interesting thing about Roberta Flack is that when the team was here, there were more than 20 artists.
20, yeah.
They were taken around various places of interest, tourist attractions, and we were sent to Elmina Castle and Cape Coast Castle. And you know, you've been there. There's a place they call Point of No Return. And I was 3 people behind Roberta Flack. When she got there and was shown the place, she passed out.
Yeah.
And he was luckily held by the person closely behind her. It took some time to bring her
consciousness.
Yeah. But this is an experience that even for me as a Ghanaian who didn't know how it is to be a black man in a foreign world, I was taken aback. It was so emotional and heartbreaking that human beings could be treated that way, pushed into a hole, and the whole of your life or death.
So you talk about Roberta Flack, you talk about Tina Turner, you talk about Wilson Pickett.
Stable singers.
Oh man, I mean, I still play staple singers.
Do you remember their popular song that was so well played in Ghana? I'm trying to figure out.
Are you sure? Are you sure there's nothing you can do to help someone who's suffering? Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So you were still with the GBC, and then you started your TV program. Tell us about that.
The TV program, as I said, there was a program called In Town, and I wanted to bring a lot of people on one set to talk. And my philosophy was that everybody has something interesting to say, depending on what angle he takes it. You and I will see a photograph and see animals in it. I might see angels in it. I might see trees in a painting. So I thought everybody has his own version of a particular object. So if you can bring 3-4 people together, you could make interesting conversation. So I went and saw the head of programs of television, Mr. Van der Poy, and discussed with him, and he asked me to give him a paper to that effect, which I did, and I think he put it in the waste paper basket. But soon, maybe 2-3 months after that, that interview program was losing its popularity. So he called me and said, I remember you discussed this formula with me. Can you produce the paper again? So I did. And he said, we need to do a pilot. So we did a pilot of the program, on which I had the famous Ghanaian boxer Roy Ankara on it, and I had Mr. Bryant, who was then the captain.
Black Star.
Black Star, who was then the captain. He was working at Kingsway Stores then.
Okay.
Who was captain of Black Star, and then I think there was another young man. I've forgotten the list of people, but there were 3 people who appeared on the program. And we did a pilot, and the pilot was to be shown to a panel to discuss and debate whether it was worthy to be aired or not. And Mr. Komretela, who produced it, he's also passed away, may he rest in peace. Komretela hinted me about the day and the time and the place. So whilst they were there, I sneaked into the panel room, and it was screened. It was an hour program. I think we did 45 instead of an hour. And then someone said, the program is good, but Mike Eghan is too adventurous. Can we hold him if he's going off the rail? And I gave a sly and a sarcastic cough. And everybody turned to see who was coughing. It was me. The man that they were discussing. So they asked me who invited me, and I said, I think I invited myself, because this is my show. So then they passed it, and I started. But it became perhaps one of the most popular programs on TV. And I'm happy to say that up to today, people remember me by the opening song that I sang, Well, Welcome to the Show, which I sang from the beginning.
No, you can sing that again, because there was so much energy.
Okay, then I'll sing it again, provided you will support me.
No, I will try.
Okay.
I will try.
So
I'll sing it the way I used to sing it when I was young,
But you are not young anymore.
No.
We are all growing. I can wait for you to catch up. Okay, so
yes.
1, 2, 3. Well, welcome. Well, welcome. Well, welcome to the show. Pam, 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 parara.
You're always in a suit, oh?
I used to think that TV has such a powerful instrument, that your appearance is important. I love good clothing. I like to dress well.
Can you imagine? This is some 40 years down the line, and I still have an image of what you look like. Were there times you had a white jacket on, or some light colored jacket, and nice pair of trousers and shiny shoes?
Well, they say the shine on your shoes says a lot about you.
Well, it's spoken loud about you.
Yes, I love clothing, and I like to appear distinct.
Yeah, you succeeded in doing that. I'm telling you.
Not proud, but distinct and elegant.
Oh, yes, very elegant, I must say. So this program, which we used to call the Mike Eghan Show, is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Good. How long was it on TV?
I think until recently it was the longest chat show in Ghana. It lasted from 1975 to 84.
But you know, it was one of the most viewed programs, and you hosted it, you know, with set skill, and it had large following, you know. But how did you, at the time, succeed in doing this and still stay out of political commentary?
Well, we did some politics in it too, but it was not as serious as because it was not a healthy experiment in those days to do political programs, because you would definitely offend some people. And I remember one of our boys played a particular record in Busia's time. What was the name of the song? Hard Times or something in the land.
Struggling in the land.
Yes.
Is it that song?
I think so. I think that's the song.
Struggling in the land.
Yes. And he was transferred from Accra to Tamale. That's how sensitive the political.
That's a Jimmy Cliff song.
Yeah,
right?
Jimmy Cliff song. Yeah.
Because it was a popular song.
Yeah, it was and he played it and said, "In these times are hard in Ghana."
You don't say that.
And he was immediately transferred from Accra to Tamale.
So that he will struggle more.
Yeah.
Wow. So those were the days. Well, so you've been listening to Uncle Mike Eghan here, and the program is Footprint. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at some of the notable personalities that Mike Eghan encountered on this TV show. Stay tuned.
Do you want a healthy smile?
Are you concerned about your child's dental health? Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. We believe in establishing good oral hygiene habits early is essential for your child's long-term dental health. Baby teeth, also called primary teeth or milk teeth, will fall out and be replaced by permanent teeth starting at around 6 years old. So it's tempting to think that primary teeth are not important, but in reality, those baby teeth are very important. Your child's first dental visit will include a complete exam, cleaning, and a fluoride treatment to protect the teeth. Your dental office should ensure that your child's dental visit is comfortable, gentle, and welcoming. Schedule your first dental visit today and give them the gift of a lifetime of healthy smiles.
Healthy smile.
Welcome back to the program. So it's my opportunity and my time to sing well, welcome. Well, welcome to the show. Bum, 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 bum. Uncle Mike,
You sang it better than I did.
No, I'm not sure about that. So normally when you're hosting such programs, it comes to the opportunity of meeting people, talking to people, and once you have that interaction, it puts you on a certain level of, okay, so I spoke with this person. Do you remember some of the notable people that you dealt with on your program that you can share your experiences?
Yeah, the program ran for a long time, so I had the good fortune again to sound repetitive.
Yeah, that's all right.
To interview meet with a lot of people. One of the people I interviewed was the highlight, I would say, is Dr. Ifimamu.
Yeah.
He was then, I think, 75 when I interviewed him on my program.
Oh.
And then for me, the place that touched me was when I asked him to sing one of his songs. He said no, he's too old, he hasn't got the voice to sing, but I pleaded with him. The program had him as my main guest. He was the sole guest on the program that day. And I had Mrs. Diana Rindolph's choir as
Mrs.
Diana Rindolph.
Oh, she's still around. You know
Yeah,
that.
she's still around, yeah.
She actually lives next to CTFM.
Yeah. So I had her choir to come and perform Infimamo songs. She specialized in Infimamo songs. And then I asked him to sing ko, he, ko, he, ko, ko, na yam so.
Yes.
And he didn't want to sing it, but I pleaded with him. So, and he was a traditionalist. And he had his cloths.
Yeah.
And as a Rotarian, they always wear buba.
Yeah.
So he took it off and with this just his buba sat down behind the piano.
Wow.
And played, and it was such a touching experience for me.
Asante boy nekente di bi hu bido wabio yimado ya be nekenta ni mai nsa nse dia de de kro he kro he kro na yemido boy nekente na yemido
We done well.
Oh man!
And another experience. Sorry, I'm taking you back.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
I had was that during Nkrumah's reign in the 60s, he made sure that we were made to feel proud to be an African and Ghanaian. So most of the presenters were sent to the Asanda to be tutored in an appreciation of Ghanaian habits and culture and tradition. So we were all sent to had to learn about Abaja, had to learn about Takai, had to learn about
so the various dance forms representing
yeah.
different
so when you are in the air, you speak with a certain confidence and authority about your pride to be an African.
The music captures the time and the moments, and the reality is that it brings back the nostalgic feeling of them days, as we say. And we can talk about yourself and the influences of the likes of CK Man. You have anything to talk about?
CK Man, I didn't know CK Man before I met him finally. But I came back from Britain, I came by boat, landed in Takoradi, came to Accra, took my job at broadcasting. But I felt pity for Western region because it had deteriorated so much that it was a sad reflection
of what you left.
What I left. And I thought that I should promote Western region to the best of my ability. So I started saying that CK Man music was the best from the West. That got me a lot of flack too from.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That why should I be promoting and discriminating?
Was it a time between CK Man and Kwame Ampedu?
Yes, it was the time that I was promoting CK Man, and he has introduced the Osode music into high life, a twist of high life into Osode, and Ampedu was playing his storytelling, more like the Calypso system. Yeah. So I started promoting CK Man as the best from the West, and I like his music. Then I went to Takra. He was then the resident band of Carousel 7. No, the band was Carousel 7, and the club was Carousel Nagogo.
Oh, okay.
So I went to Takoradi to record Radio Dance Time, and I visited the club. I didn't know him. It's the first time seeing him, and he didn't know me either. So someone went and whispered in his ears that Mike Eghan is here. Because I've been promoting his music, he felt so happy that he should send me 6 bottles of beer. And I was a teetotaler. Okay. Today I can drink a glass of beer, but I was drinking just soft drink those days.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we became friends. That's CK Man and my relationship with him. I didn't know him then.
Okay.
But his music was so captivating to me. But here again, I started promoting CK Man and said a lot of nice things about his music, but did not do the same thing to Nana Ampedu. In fact, when I compared them, I said Nana Ampedu's music was repetitive. Not
so you must have caused the problem.
Well, maybe I did.
So those of you watching it, you think that is just Tomboy and Shatawale. Back in the day, CK Man and Nana Kwame Ampedu was like Hassan Kotoko. I remember, you know.
Yes. So I had a lot of flack. People wrote, in those days there was no phone-ins.
Yes.
So people wrote to attack me and all that. But Nana Ampedu himself, I was in the studio one day when I was told Nana Ampedu wanted me. And I thought he was coming to pick a fight with me.
No.
But he came with a parcel in his hand to come and give it to me to say thank you for promoting my music.
Wow.
And I opened the parcel and it was two shirts. One was a mauve color and the other was
Oh, you remember?
yeah, was, I think I still have it in my wardrobe somewhere.
Wow.
I've kept it. So he came and said that the comparison I've made is helping him to improve his pattern, rhythmic patterns in his music and make necessary changes. And another thing I should tell you in my broadcasting days was that when I came back from Britain, at the time that I was leaving Britain to come to Ghana, phoning had become very popular. Started broadcasting in BBC.
Okay.
So I tried to introduce it in Ghana. So I discussed it with the head of engineering, Mr. Sam, and he said, "Man, for us, I'm my home. Maybe let's say maybe." So he was not interested in such an adventurous.
He had gone past that level. Yeah.
But there was a young technician in GBC 2 called Bote, who said it could be done. So through his own ingenuity, he fixed it and we started phone-ins. And my co-hostess was Dr. Joyce Aye.
Oh, I see.
So I take pride, again, if you permit me to go on top,
please,
to be the first person to introduce phone-ins in Ghana in 1972.
Wow.
During the Champions Reign.
Wow.
And what we did was that every week we choose a subject. Could be sanitation in the country, in Accra, or could be driving etiquette in Ghana, and such things. And one day, after about a year and a half, Joyce and I decided that we should discuss press freedom. At the time, Mr. Hammond was on holiday, so Mr. Sam Buxton had taken over as the head of GBC 2. And he said he wasn't going to risk his 25 years in broadcasting to my adventurous ideas. So we argued with him and said that we've done this program for about a year. We have not raised any commotion, any disturbances. So why don't you trust that we can steer it and avoid any disquiet? And he says, no, I'm not going to take that risk. So we said to him that either we do it or to end the series. And he said, I'd rather have it ended than get into any confusion with the powers.
This will be 75, you said?
72.
Oh, 72?
Yes.
That was okay.
Military regime.
Wow.
Champagne had taken over. And Mr. Kwame Nanaman used to be the PR for Champagne. You know Mr. Kwame Nanaman?
Not the name I'm familiar with.
He was done with graphic.
Okay.
At the same time with Elizabeth Ohini and Co.
Okay. So Anaman, obviously a fancy man.
Yes. Because I was friendly with him, he used to tell me that the old man listened to the program and he thought it was good, or his comments. So I knew he was listening. And I said that, you know, this program is listened by the head of state. If it goes up the air, we all can be in trouble. And he says he would prefer to defend his reasons better than taking the chance of causing any unnecessary attention. So that was the end of the program. We didn't. But they appointed Kote, what's his name again?
As what?
As the one to continue with the program.
Okay.
His surname is Kote. Ashikote.
Okay.
Ashikote. Yeah. To take over the program. But of course, the
Is it Daniel Ashikote?
No, his name was just simply Ashikote.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
The first name, okay.
Yeah. So he continued the program. He did 2 series, and the response and the reception was poor. So the program was taken up there completely. 2 series, and the response and the reception was poor. So the program was taken up there completely. So that was, and we called it BuzzMe, because they wouldn't allow us to discuss press.
So at the time, Auntie Joyce herself was, you had come from the university and
yes,
working with the EPC.
That's right.
EPC at the time.
Yeah.
Today's EPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was one of the experiences, that one of the knowledge or the experiment that I presented in Ghana, phone-in programs.
Wow. So now you know where it came from, phone-in programs, and we still do have some phone-in programs left because of new media and social media, texting, WhatsApping, and very soon you'll be wiring in and everything. So you are still watching Footprint. We'll go for a short commercial break. We'll come back and then see where Uncle Mike went from the mid-70s into the next revolution. Stay tuned.
Imagine walking into a secure environment you call your own, a home where you are in charge of your own security. But while you dream of a brighter future, shadows could be lurking at your doorsteps and windows. With real-time alerts and a professional response team ready to act, your home is protected around the clock, whether you're away or asleep. Don't wait for safety. Create it. Installed by professionals, our systems integrate seamlessly into your home, guarding every nook and cranny. And with our rent-to-own plan, this unmatched security comes with no burdensome upfront cost. Enjoy your safety, payment at your own pace, and peace of mind. Plus, our theft guarantee protection ensures you're covered in case of any loss, giving you even more peace of mind. Secure your home with Home Shield. Make peaceful sleep a habit, knowing we stand guard. Response 1, protecting your world 24/7.
Welcome back from the break. This is Footprints. My name is Samuel Atamens, and I've been talking to Mr. Mike Eghan, the ace broadcaster, somebody who paved the way for a lot of younger broadcasters through his days at GBC, event hosting, MCing, as we say, his days working at the BBC and crisscrossing the country, hosting events and recording TV programs, and also his program, the Mike Eghan Show, that was on GTV. Now we call it GTV, but it used to be GBC TV. Such a mouthful, but hey, we enjoyed it because that was the only thing we had, So Mike, in the span that's of your broadcast career, I am sure that there are people who also you can acknowledge as having made some significant influence or impact in your life, not necessarily in broadcasting. You care to share some?
Well, I will begin with broadcasting.
Right.
Two people in particular, Mr. Gilbert Ade, who started disc jockeying and who also produced and presented football commentary, sports commentary, and ceremonial sessions. If there's going to be an independence celebration, he will be the one to carry it live on radio. But I would also like to mention the name of Leo Robbie Williams, who spotted me and took me up and plugged me like a flower and took me straight to broadcasting and gave me the opportunity to experiment and be as adventurous as I could, but still under some sort of tutelage. Leo will give you the opportunity to go and write your own script, and he will then edit it for you and say that yes or no, say this way, don't say this way. He gave me the opportunity to become what I am today.
Wow.
But outside of broadcasting, I'd like to mention people like Mr. Ralph Quist, who was the electronic technician or engineer, who used to patronize the club that I was working as a disc jockey.
You worked as a disc jockey at a club?
Yes.
You missed that. Where was that?
In Accra. I worked in two different...
The names of the club?
Le Chevalier Restaurant and Disco. Then I worked at Pagoda, which was run by Faisal Hewani, blessed memory. And I had my own disco.
Oh, hey. No, you're not small.
Well, at a point that I realized broadcasting was being too stiff and too regimental, I felt that I needed room to expand. And I also...
So, Le Chevalier Restaurant, where was that?
This was at around the Pehe area.
Okay.
close to Joy FM.
It's the Kukumlemle side.
That's right. That's
But
right.
there were lots of Indians and foreigners there.
This was owned by a Swiss man.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the area.
Yes.
Because I remember Hatramani. If you remember
Yeah, that's
Hatramani
right.
and
Table tennis.
all those people used to live
And you
around.
know, I used to play table tennis too for Ghana.
Oh, I see.
I represented Ghana against Nigeria in 1958,
Wow.
and I was
when
thrashed.
you died. That's when you're in Fidai?
I had come out of Fijai.
Oh. And they finished you.
Kwata kwata.
But it's still something to talk
But I
about.
was proud to have represented
Represented,
Ghana.
yeah.
So that's how I got to know Hatramani. He
Yes.
used to import me. He was in charge of Emmanuel Quay, the Ghana champion.
Something like that.
But my style, and the second champion was SK Alote. My style of playing was similar to SK Alote. So Hatramani would import me from Sekenita to Accra to come and train
With SK.
with not SK, with Emmanuel.
Okay.
And what's his name?
That's the champion.
Emmanuel Quay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that he knew most likely to be the finals, he will be meeting SK Alote. So if he trained with me, it will help his reflexes.
Okay.
So I used to play with him a lot, especially when there's a tournament coming. I'll be important to come and train with IC Emmanuel Quay. But I'm happy to say that in 1958 Independence Celebration Tournament, I became the national champion, doubles champion, and I played against the Quay brothers
Whoa.
in Cape Coast.
No, but you are huge.
Yes, and I had a haircut called Tokyo Joe.
Oh.
And each time I smash and won a point, they would shout Tokyo Joe.
But Tokyo Joe was a popular phenomenon in
Yes.
Ghana, man.
But fighting my wearing Tokyo Joe.
So I'm interested in your club again. So those days we used to call it discotheque.
Yeah, disco.
Right.
Yeah. So Mr. Ralph Chris was the first person to give me money to go and start my own disco. Because what he said to me that the way all of us come in, we patronized mostly by expatriates.
Yeah.
He said the way we come here is because of the way you run the show here. You know us by our names, and you will greet us when we enter, and then you play our favorite record that we have requested from you. So why don't you start your own disco? He came and left 300 CDs on my this table, and said, "Go and." Well, he didn't say. He just left, and I thought usually people will come and give me tips. 5 CDs, 10 CDs, 50 CDs was not in vogue then. But he gave me an envelope full of money. So I was surprised, and I called him the next morning to say, "What was the money meant for?" He said, "I want you to start your own disco."
Wow.
So to fast track the story, this is how I got to start my own disco, and gave me enough money to enter into other ventures like insurance. I have a little interest in Provident Insurance Company
Yes.
from the very onset, and I have served on various boards,
Yeah.
and I'm still a board member of Provident Insurance Company.
Yeah.
I was a member of Lisa Freak, a leasing company, and a few other companies.
Yes. But then later on, you found your way into some politics.
Well, I've never been an activist until I found my way in politics. And it happened,
How did that happen? Because
I would say, by accident.
okay.
One day I was sitting in the office when my friend and brother, Mr. Rudolph von Bombs, who started Provident Insurance
Yeah.
Company, called me and said, let me finish acknowledging people that I'll bring, because I'll
Okay.
mention him.
Good.
So Ralph Chris was one person I can't forget. Sandy Anderson, an Englishman who was born in Ghana, is another person who helped me.
But he's still around, right?
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah.
He and I formed the company, Eghan Company Limited, and we were running Sundown and Sunrise hotels. And then also I've mentioned Mr. Bormus, I will mention Mr. Wilson Tay as somebody who also,
The contractor?
no, Wilson Tay, well, he used to be a contractor, but he's now an insurance authority.
Okay.
Not well, maybe I'm using the wrong.
No,
he's
it's
he's
not
an
the same
insurance
person.
guru.
Okay.
Let me put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay.
So these are the people, and I shouldn't forget my dear wife, whose tolerance and capacity to avoid my annoyances encouraged me and been my partner for 56 years
Wow.
as my wife.
Wow.
I haven't been the best of husbands in the world, but she has had the patience and the tolerance to have me and be with me till today. And we are still married and counting.
We thank God for
Yeah.
that. We thank
So
God.
these are just a few people that I like to recognize and acknowledge.
Okay, good. So before we finish, we'll touch on the politics. How did you get into it? You mentioned Mr. Von
Yes,
Bones.
he called me one morning and said, Mike, I free. He's a white man in color and in complexion, but he speaks typical Sekeni Fanti. So I said, yes, my
He's not half caste, but he's
He's
white.
Well, his mother was half caste
Okay.
and his father was white. So he came out as pure white man, head, teeth and toe. So he called and asked me whether I could accompany him to see a friend. So I agreed. He came to me at Sunrise Hotel. We went in one car to see Mr. Tommy Thompson, who used to be the editor of Free Press.
Free press.
Yes. And he was an ardent, staunch, unrepentant and Nkrumahist. He said
This was in the 70s. So.
no, this was 92.
Oh, 92. Okay.
Yeah. We were just coming out of
election.
to be precise 91.
91.
But we have heard that there was going to be a lift of political parties. So he was forming, he had decided to form Heritage Club, which was Kwame Nkrumah Welfare Society. He was a member, but there was some misunderstanding and he has broken off to form the Heritage Club. Most of the political parties then started forming clubs to galvanize their members for getting ready for the lifting of the ban on political activities. So we went to see him and he was the one who invited us to join his Heritage Club. And members of the Heritage Club were Freddie Blay, Kwesi Ablay, Fred Aboloso, Alaji Nifa.
Alaji Fowl is the last I knew was the chief of Nima.
Yeah, that's right. But
Okay.
he was a member of the Heritage Club.
I have not. I loved his English language.
Yes.
Was he a broadcaster?
No, he wasn't. He listens and reads a lot.
Wow, Alaji Fowl and
Yeah.
his English.
Yeah.
I need to look for him.
He lives at Nima.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we'll go look for him. And
Yeah, he has an interesting story to tell too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd be good to be your guest.
Yes.
So these were some of Kweku Bakun and Kwesi Pratt. They were all members of the Heritage Club until again there was another division, and he broke away to form his own party.
Who?
Kwesi Pratt.
He had a party?
He had a party. What's the name of his party? I've forgotten.
Okay.
Something Democratic Party.
I
NDPP or something like that.
see.
Because I'm growing younger, I seem to forget.
Well,
this.
even I don't remember because
he had his own party.
well, I mean, I've always remembered him. He gave Rollins a hard time at some
Yes,
point.
yes.
That I remember.
And the Nkrumahs was divided again because of some misunderstanding, which is a long story that we can't get into it now.
So divided which factions again?
We had the PHP, Heritage Club, the Nkoko Train, which was led by Kweku Boateng, Reverend Kweku Boateng. Then they had NIP by Akoko Dakun, Kobra Dakun, and then PNC.
So Kweku Boateng became the NCP.
Yes,
Yeah.
it became NC.
NCP, yeah.
So these were the Nkrumah.
So you had NCP, you had NIP, which had Reverend Kwabena Dakun as Dako Farms as a leader.
That's right.
And then PHP, People's Heritage Party, with General Eskin
Was
came.
led.
Okay. Do I remember Kankam Da Costa's name?
He was with PNC.
PNC.
No, yeah,
of
PNC,
course,
yeah.
obviously with PNC.
yeah, with
Yeah. Okay. Good. So then you from Heritage Club.
Then what happened was that soon after the 1992 election, the NPP started making contact with the Nkrumahs groups so that we can come together as one big political party to campaign and compete
Unseat the
the NDC. And then Dr. Liman of blessed memory had the wisdom to invite all of us to his office. It was near Kokomemle. That they are talking to us as individual groups, but it could be better if we form one solid group so that we can have a stronger voice in the discussion and unification process. Then, so he invited all the fragmentations to come together to do that. Then we said to him that since he's had the idea, he should lead the fragmentation unity talks, and said no, he didn't want to seem to be overpowering or overtaking anybody, so we should find our own leader. And then we said, since it was his idea, let us choose the chairman of his party, Alhaji Asuma Banda, to be the chairman of the unity talks. So Alhaji Banda started the unity talks, but because of his business, he was always out of the country. So he handed over to Mr. J.A.K. Tamakro, who was very proud person to be called prison graduate. I don't know if you know the story of prison graduates.
You can tell us.
Yeah, prison graduates were the people who were arrested in jail for their political activities. And
so which era?
This is before even independence.
Okay.
So Nkrumah was a prison graduate. He brought the idea up, and everybody who was arrested in jail for political reasons called himself prison graduate.
Okay.
So
Mr.
Tamaklo became the chairman, and we met, and each member of the group of the fragmentation needed to send 5 people to represent them at the unity talks. So we started it, and I was a member of the unity talks for the Heritage Party with Fal, Kweku Bakon, and I think and 2 other leaders.
Was Mr. Nylander part of it?
No, Mr. Nylander came into politics, even though he was born into politics.
That's why I asked.
He came into politics in the
much later.
Much later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then that brought you to
politics.
Yeah.
And then we formed the Heritage Party, and then we were a Heritage Club, and then became People's Heritage Party, and our symbol was 2 people shaking hands.
You didn't win any seats, did you?
We didn't. But
you never won any seat before.
Never. So, but when we became united, we did a collaboration with NPP.
Yeah.
And where we formed the Progressive.
The Great Alliance.
Great Alliance.
Yeah.
Great Alliance, and we won 5 seats with that collaboration. Even though it was not a favorable
marriage.
Yeah. Because we agreed we were going to contest in 8 constituencies where the NPP shouldn't put any candidate, and they should take one. The parliament was formed with 200 constituencies, so they were supposed to file in 120. We will file in 80, hoping that we'll win at least 50 or so. But then they filed in all the constituencies, all the 200. So they broke the arrangement that we had. But even with that bogus arrangement, we won 5 seats in parliament.
Okay.
Fred Lee was one of them who won a seat from Elemble. Kujama won his seat. Evaluator. And then I think Takwa, we had one, Mr. Anna. We won 5 seats.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had the unity talks for about 18 months and came out with Convention Party. NIP dissolved completely, name, color, and brand. PHP did the same thing. PNC, a chunk of them came to join. NCP, a chunk of them came to join, and we formed the CP. The unity talks continued, and then we became PCP. When another faction of NCP came, and then finally became CPP. We filed for reclaiming the name and symbol of the CPP, and after a legal battle in court, we won our case and were given the right to use the name and the symbol.
Oh wow! It's been a long journey.
Indeed, but reasonable good journey that I've gained a lot of experience in life, generally speaking.
And it shows. You've kept your composure. You've kept your reputation. You've had many encounters, as we say, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the total outcome is something to be proud of.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle Mike.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Thank you. God bless. Okay, so this has been Footprint. My name is Samuel Atamensa. See you next week.
She says he's too good to be true. What should he do?
Dear sisters, I'm a young man in my late 20s. I was raised by a father whose life taught me everything about being responsible, steady, and respectful. Today, I'm an architect, something I worked so hard to become. I'm also in a relationship with a woman who is beautiful, intelligent, and full of life. But lately, she's been saying something I can't shake off. She often tells me I'm too perfect.
If your lady is telling you that she thinks you are too good to be true, I think there should be a deep conversation about what does that actually mean. What doesn't she like in the deepest sense?
There are also women who sort of like they lay the foundation so they can leave you in future. You are good, they use you for where they are in life. If they are schooling, they can use you to pay their fees. But they keep saying, oh, you are so good, you are so good, you are too good for me. They are trying to lay the foundation.
If he is how I think he is, then he's, paying attention to the smallest detail. And to her, it's making her uncomfortable because obviously she's not that, collected.
Find out with Chris Carter and her sisters on Sister Sister this Friday at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV. Sister Sister, real stories, real women, real talk. Sister Sister is proudly sponsored by Gino. Gino truly cares.
AgriFair 2025 is almost here. The much anticipated AgriFair 2025 is just around the corner, happening from the 20th to the 22nd of June at the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra. Get ready for a fun, educative, and exciting experience as we bring together the very best in agriculture, food, innovation, and entertainment all in one place. Exhibitors, if you have registered, it's time to pay and secure your spot before it's too late. Don't miss this opportunity to showcase your product to thousands of attendees. Call 0205-973-973 now to make your payment and lock in your space at Ghana's biggest agri-event. Come and enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices and treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Don't miss this. See you there. The AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 CDFM and is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, Development Bank Ghana, Agri Impact Limited, and the Horticulture Business Platform.